Welcome back to World Traveler Cooking, the show where we cover interesting foods and interesting cuisines from around the world. As we continue with our French sauces, I think this is the last of the French daughter sauces. We're going to make a Maltaise sauce, and today I'm actually going to use blood orange juice, though you can do this with regular oranges too. The color will be a little different, the visual effect will be a little different, the flavor should be similar but slightly different. Most French recipes I've seen use regular oranges, but some use blood oranges. So we're going to use blood oranges today. This is a daughter sauce off of Hollandaise, and the main difference compared to, say, Béarnaise is the use of orange or blood orange juice. Blood oranges, great to use when they're in season, but oftentimes they're not, so feel free to use normal oranges if you want. Our ingredients are 115 grams of butter. We're just going to use the yolks from these 4 eggs, about a tablespoon of vinegar, white wine vinegar. We're going to use 60 milliliters or 60 grams. It's about a quarter cup of orange or blood orange juice, and we'll use a bit of zest as well. Maybe the zest from maybe half of this should be fine. But those are our entire ingredients, plus we will have some salt and some pepper. So, to get started, I'm going to separate my eggs, and I'll get a bain-marie set up. So if you want to measure out with tablespoons, you can. Otherwise, add about 15 grams of vinegar. 15, that's close enough. And then we will add 60 grams or a quarter cup of the squeezed orange juice. Now, as a major tip, it's good to have, if you're not sure if you have enough juice from one orange, good to have a second one available. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squeeze one of them in, and then if I need, I will, oh, look at the color of that juice. Yeah, I bet I'm going to need the second one. These are apparently a type of blood orange from Australia. Would have preferred the ones from Europe for this recipe, but use what we have. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be basically the juice of 2 of these oranges. I'll be back once I have these in. So, the defining factor of a bain-marie is that the bowl here is suspended above the water, so the water steams the bowl, and basically that allows a very controlled way of heating this. So I'm going to heat this up a bit, and then I'm going to start whisking, and once this starts to thicken a little bit, we'll be going. So I'm just whisking this, and once it starts to noticeably thicken, we'll start adding our butter. Now I'm also melting the butter separately, so note this doesn't give me any protection against overcooking the egg mixture. So be careful here. But once this just starts to thicken a little bit, then we'll start adding the butter. And we'll do that off the heat. So at this point, you can see that it is thickening a bit, and it is frothy. So I'm going to remove this bowl from the bain-marie. Remember, you have to remove it from the bain-marie because the heat is coming from the water underneath. It's not enough to just take it off the stove. And then we will start streaming our oil in, our butter in slowly. Now, depending on how thick you cook the egg, that'll affect your sauce. When you get to the end, I just put it on top of the hot bain-marie, but off the heat, just to keep it warm. You have to be careful. If we heat it up, it will separate. And we're just going to set this here while I wait for my broccoli to cook for the taste test. In the meantime, though, we're going to add a bit, maybe close to a teaspoon or so, of orange zest, salt and pepper to taste, so just a bit of salt, and pepper, and then we'll whisk this well. And after whisking it, this is what we're left with. In just a few minutes, I'll be ready for the taste test. Now, while I'm waiting, I'm just going to taste the sauce. Look at that consistency, it's very nice. It's acidic, it's orangey, it's delicious. This will be interesting to try on the broccoli. And so I've baked some of this broccoli with some salt and olive oil, and I'm just going to drench it with a bit of this sauce. Drenching is usually not like what I want to do with sauce, but I want to try this. And just for good measure, I'm going to put some sauce on the plate, and I'm going to put my chicken on top and try that, just because I think the orange flavors and the chicken might go really well together. So, just going to take some videos and then some images, and then we'll go ahead and take a taste test. And now for the taste test. So the Maltaise sauce transforms the flavor of the broccoli. It doesn't really conceal it, but it brings out some notes that I wasn't typically expecting. It's very nice. You can see why that's sort of a classic pairing. Now I'm going to try the chicken. Chicken's okay. But the level of acidity is actually a little high for the chicken. This is weird to say because normally we prefer more acidic foods with chicken, but when I taste the chicken with the sauce, the first thing I taste is the vinegar. That's not necessarily a terrible thing, but it does indicate that sometimes you're better off sticking to these classic pairings. Now, if you like this content, you'd like to see more of it, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have anything to say about this video, you make something similar, love to hear from you in the comments. I have the recipe in the description. So, bon appetit, and see you next week.